This is Phil Bell from Freedomworks on the Daily Mojo with your morning update. Interesting news out of the Federal Reserve Board. Now, if you know me well, you know I have no use for the Federal Reserve. I think it is absolutely absurd that we have an entity where the academics stick their finger in the air and decide, well, I guess this is how the economy is supposed to work. Well, interesting data coming out of that board today, which showed that 28% of Americans are cutting back on medical care because they can't afford it amidst inflation. Now, I want you to go back a little more than 10 years, and you remember when Barack Obama was president, and he passed Obamacare with the promise of what? Bending the cost curve down of medical care. But despite Obamacare being the law of the land for more than a decade, despite all of the subsidies that are being offered, despite all of the advertisements that are coming out that say that, well, you know, I got a medical plan for $0 a month with subsidies, of course, 28%, nearly 30% of Americans are saying, you know what? Things are so expensive, I can't afford medical care. So I'm going to push back things such as dentist visits or otherwise in order to keep things afloat. That tells us two notable things about the economy. First of all, it's not doing well. You've heard me talk about that extensively. You know that it's costing the average family of four more than $11,000 to continue to live as they did before Joe Biden took office. But secondly, it also shows that government-sponsored plans for health care or anything else simply don't work. There is no reason that we should have entrusted our freedom and, most importantly, our health care to government. It is our responsibility to put aside our money to pay for our care. And when our health care is determined by what we are able to pay, the cost will be lower and the process of payment will be much more reasonable. So it is always up to us not to look to Washington, D.C. for solutions, but to look to ourselves, to look inward, to look among our friends, our family, or otherwise, in order to solve problems rather than simply farming them out to a government that doesn't know us and simply doesn't care. And the first thing that you can do is go over to freedomworks.org and sign up to become a member of our Freedom Teams. There you'll find like-minded people who believe in taking responsibility for what we're doing, taking responsibility for our own lives, and not giving the government the opportunity to be our Lord and Master. We will see you later this week, and I hope you have a great day.
Phil Bell's Morning Update is only on the DailyMojo.com.